I got another project I picked up. Um, Really, this is a project I've had for a while. It's just been in storage for a number of years, and I finally have a place to put it that, if I made some progress on it, I could put to use. This is a 1930's Westinghouse Coca-Cola cooler. Um, we had gotten this with one of the buildings our family business used to be on. That this had been left in it, and from my research, Westinghouse started building Coca-Cola refrigerators, coolers in, I want to say it was in 1934. And this machine, that the tag is too corroded to really read. But for the other ones I've seen like it, I believe this is what they'd call a master model or master series. And that was one of the first ones they'd started building in the early 30s. And don't know exactly the year on it, but looking at some of the features, like the style of the handles that are on the lid and a couple other little details, kind of lead me to believe this is one of the earlier units. It's probably, I'd say, like a mid 1930s vintage. It's for the most part all there. There's a couple of pieces that are missing, but otherwise it's complete. Um, I find it kind of interesting how it works. It's not like a normal refrigerator that cools the air inside. In this case, it's what they call a wet cooler. Is that in here? In this, it's got a stainless tub here, and this where the bottles would actually be full of water. And the refrigeration system has this little kind of fan blade agitator here that's wrapped around these coils, and it has that grate that'd be over it. But the refrigeration system would chill the water, and the water is what kept the soda bottles cool. So it is not necessarily using ice cold, but still cools them off. Um, but I guess whoever would be attending this thing had to keep an eye on the water level over the day as people pull bottles out and it gets evaporates and stuff. But it has this little level on there, so water level they'd have to keep it to. But it's an interesting system. It's like I said, it's all there, all the important pieces. I've been sitting on this thing for a number of years, and initially I was thinking that maybe I could like retrofit it with some new components to make it work again. But looking at, I don't think it'd be too hard to, or it'd at least be worthwhile to try to get the old system up and running again. It's a fairly simple refrigeration system that you have a condenser compressor set on the bottom here that would work off of like a mineral oil or like Freon type refrigerant, and that goes up to your coil on the top side here. And so I've been going back and forth between two scenarios with this. Of one of doing everything I can just to get it complete and functioning, but kind of leave the age and patina on it, or two, getting it fully restored. I'm not attached to the patina. There's a lot of people that like stuff like this, and they say it's best to leave it like it is. And I would only do that more because I don't have time to restore it, not because I enjoy the patina. And in my mind, the patina is not how it was. The patina is how it turned out, and I would rather restore it to what it once was. Um, the other thing too is it does have some rust damage. You can see on mainly on this top lip here, but also kind of on the bottom where the insulation kind of was. You can see where there was some water that got stuck in there, and to really fix that right, I would need to sandblast this, weld it up, and follow it up by repainting it. So that, I think, would be the ideal scenario. Would be taking this thing all the way down, getting it patched up right, repainted and restored. But being as I have a knack for picking up projects before I really have time or resources to work on them, I'm thinking a more likely scenario will be that I'll stick with the patina, stick with it like it is, and just get it running, and see if I can get, you know, another lifetime's worth of service out of it before I have to restore it. So to do that, I'm thinking first thing I've done is cleaned it out. It had the insulation inside of it was full of mouse nests and stuff. All kinds of marbles and nutshells are stuck in there. So I cleaned a lot of that out and got it mostly down to just the pieces now. And now I'm letting it dry back out. I want to make sure there's no moisture inside this thing. And I do want to get the insulation replaced. So get some new fiberglass batting stuffed in there. And you replace the rubber seal that goes around the top there. And I need to replace there's a drain hole in the corner of the stainless basin down here that I need to replace I guess they call it a bung hole, the little plug that goes in the corner there. Then the electrical, there's mainly two pieces that I got to make sure I can get running. Would be the agitator motor up here, and then the motor for the condenser on the bottom. And if I can make sure those two pieces work, and there are no major or really any leaks in the refrigerant lines, worst case scenario is that it'll just need to be recharged, because I'm sure any refrigerant was in there might have leaked out over the last going on 100 years now. Closer to 90. But so if I can get the case kind of patched up, get the electrical sound and get the refrigerant sound, this thing will be running again. And there's some other minor details. There's one of the wheels is busted that I'll have to either replace or get welded back together. I believe on the bottom side where it was open here, I've seen pictures of some of these that were open, but I think most of those were the non-electric chests. That those ones were, they would have been just like throw bags of ice. This was just a static cooler. But since this one's electrical, I think they would have had a grate on this side. And similar ones I've seen, they actually had like a expanded steel grate on the side with the motor that's missing here. The other side is a little more presentable. Yeah, I think I can probably make a new grate for that. There's also, it's got a built-in bottle opener over here. Most ones I've seen were actually Coca-Cola bottle openers. This one's actually a 7-Up. It's kind of interesting. And it's missing the little cap catcher down there, but you can still buy those. These decals here are kind of interesting. They're Suncrest Cola. I imagine maybe some kind of sun-kissed or some kind of fruit soda pop. It's kind of cool. Yeah, like I said, I'll need to replace the rubber seal around the top there. And the lid's all intact. I'm not sure. I think it might have plywood inside of it, but it still seems fairly solid. So but that's kind of it. So one more project to work on. When I initially got this thing, I remember there was a time where I had a dream of starting kind of a soda shop arcade kind of thing, and I kind of saw this kind of playing into that. And, well, life and goals go. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but would still love to get this thing up, get up and running. I don't think it would be healthy for me to drink enough soda pop to keep this thing stocked, but it might be fun to pull it out and do we do bake sales every now and then, or yard sales, that kind of thing, or just whenever we have some friends over. So. But it's an oldie, and I think it deserves to keep going. There it is, mid-1930s Westinghouse Master Coca-Cola cooler, the wet cooler.